The amount of times I've heard, I will be happy when I get a pay rise. All my problems will be sorted when I buy this house. If I buy this house and I have this car and I'm working at this job and I'm doing this thing, then my life will be perfect and I will love it. The amount of times that I've heard, I will be happy when. So it's the assignment of happiness to a goal. And that's not what happiness is. That's what excitement is. That may be what pleasure is, but it's not what true happiness is. True happiness exists in the moment. And I want to talk about a specific philosophy that I've really been trying to hone in my own life and my own approach to my work and my business and my family and my outlook on life, which is to be in it for the long haul. So I used to be the person to say, I'll be happy when. I had a very challenging childhood. There were emotional difficulties that I experienced. And because of the prevalence of this negative emotion, I was just craving positive emotion, but it wasn't happening because at the time I'm young. I don't have the skill set to, you know, meditate or do the things that help shift your attention away from the negative, which you can do in most cases. So therefore, I was looking at goals. I was like, if I achieve this, or if I grow up and I have a family and I have this, then all my problems will go away. That was my escape. That escape for me was necessary because it helped me get through that difficult period. But of course, that's what you idolize, that's what you aspire to. And then when you have finally reached that point, you think this is it. And then no, where's that happiness? I thought I was going to be happy and I didn't have to worry about this anymore, but we do. I don't want you watching this to think, oh, just another douche saying happiness is a choice and whatever. I'm still not changing. I'm not choosing to feel bad about myself, and I'm not saying you are. When you look at the concept of happiness, you have to break it down into many different factors. Happiness is not just one thing, and it's not caused by just one thing. It is there's many factors that contribute to whether we feel happy or not. You have to look at your quality of your relationships. You have to look at whether or not you even have quality relationships. You have to look at your social life. You have to look at the food you eat. You have to look at the sleep you're getting, the environment you live in, the political climate, the weather. Even the sun can make us feel happy or low. Even the sun, let alone all the other problems or things we've got going on in our life. So you have to undertake an exercise, and you can watch my prior video on the battery test to help you piece together what am I doing that's making me feel good and what am I doing that's making me feel bad. And the logic behind that is I need to do more of what makes me feel good and less of what makes me feel bad. And I'd even go a step further to say you need to do more of things you have never done before. You need to introduce spontaneity because that's when you learn in that process. I can trust myself to be in an unknown or unfamiliar environment. And if you want to watch that video, you can click up there. Now, back to this reflection. Let me give you a movie quote that's just stuck with me, and then that's gonna be the basis for this reflection. So the quote was, make a list of everything you want now, and then spend the next 25 years of your life getting it slowly, piece by piece. Now, for some people that I've spoken to, that pisses them off. That's rubbish advice. If you want something, go after it. Go after it. Why should you wait 25 years? I think I don't take it literally as in 25 years. I think the point that the quote makes is 25 years is like a proxy for a significant period of time where you assess what you want and you break that goal down into small daily actions. And by small, I mean minute. It might be pausing 10 seconds before you react from a place of anger. Then the next day, can I make it to 15 seconds before reacting to the place of anger? Come to the end of the year, you may be angry but may not react because you've trained yourself to not react to it. And instead, you've bought yourself the space and time to think what's a better reaction to make. And it can apply to any goal. Be in it for the long haul, because if you alleviate the pressure from yourself of, I need to get this thing now. Why? Because it's going to make me happy, because I'm going to, experience more pleasure, whatever it is. You are putting that pressure on yourself to achieve it, and you miss the moment, because all you are is outcomes focused. And these videos on YouTube and the kind of generic philosophy is work hard, go after it, grind, grind, grind. Absolutely, you need to grind to reach your goal. But what I'm proposing here is, and this is a philosophy that I've stuck with and that honestly works for me personally. Maybe it's my personality type. But what I'm saying is, do the work, but slowly, slow it down. Focus on each task. Focus on getting each task right. It's not about speed, it's about the quality of the execution of the task. And then there's a skill within that, because we might think, I've done this next. But actually, there's a skill of, I'm doing this, and it might be challenging what I'm doing, but can I learn to enjoy the moment? What am I learning about myself in the process? And by training yourself to slow down the pace, you are shifting away from the outcome, because you've already written what your goal is. It's there. You've written it down, or you know what it is. It's there. It's not going to change. It may change with time, but the point is, it's not going to change. The point is to shift away from the focus all being on that end goal and scale it back to what you're doing now in the moment. The more attuned you are to who you are in the moment, the more likely it is that you will be able to self-care and regulate yourself when you're feeling stressed or angry or fearful or anxious. Whereas if you're in the outcome, you've already decided, my happiness is when I achieve this thing up here. So all of these steps I need to do to get there, that's not where the happiness is. The happiness is there. So where does that leave you feeling now? Your goal is here, you're here. I'll be happy when I get this. Okay, that means you're not happy now then, until you get this. So you have to go through this journey miserably until you get to a goal that you think is going to make you happy, and you reach the goal and then you realize, oh, I'm not happy. I want you to think about that, because we can sometimes allow excitement, the dopamine hit, motivation. We can sometimes confuse that with happiness. They're not the same thing. Happiness, as I see it, is a joyful experience of life, which is genuinely being present in the moment and allowing yourself to experience positive emotion. That's happiness. But you're not going to allow yourself to experience positive emotion if you are outcomes focused solely. You can still have a goal-oriented mindset and still experience happiness. But to do that, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't think happiness is there. Happiness is a goal. Happiness is a journey. It's not the destination. Andrew Huberman, who does a podcast on YouTube, the Huberman Lab podcast. He's a neuroscientist, and he speaks about this. He says, what releases dopamine, what makes us feel good, is not achieving our goals, it's in the pursuit of our goals. And the thing is, if you then match your philosophy with that same neurological kind of sequence of events, that pursuing the goal releases the dopamine, when you match your mindset of, okay, in that case, I'm going to enjoy the moment and really embrace myself in the moment, you are aligning your philosophy with your neurochemistry. Whereas if you just focus on the outcome, like, my happiness is there, I'll be happy when, I'm not happy now, but I will be happy when, there's a bit of a mismatch. And you'll never experience happiness. This is the point, and so that's why I call this video being a long haul, because a lot of us want things now. I want this now, I want that now. It's the delaying the gratification. But just because you delay gratification doesn't mean you have to be miserable in the process. This is something I'm learning. And this is something that's so far worked for me. I was so miserable when I thought, I want this, I want that. It ended up being an escape for me. I kind of, in a weird way, escaped the misery I was experiencing because I was imagining how happy I would be when I had all these things, when I wasn't where I was. And some of us need that. If you're going through a very difficult time, you need to resort to things like escape. Not any form of escape that's going to abuse you or harm you, like alcohol or drugs. I'm talking about a mental visual escape. Imagine yourself on a beach, wherever relaxes you, that helps you take the stress and the sting out of that moment, if you're in a situation where you have no choice to be there. So I'm going to go back to the happiness as a choice. It is a choice once you have assessed what factors are contributing to you not experiencing that happiness, and what power or ability you have to conquer it. It's better to be at the bottom of the ladder climbing up rather than halfway and not moving at all. Slow progress, steady progress. Immerse yourself in what you're doing in the moment. Don't worry about, I'm only delaying my anger reaction for 10 seconds. That's not where I want to be. No, of course it's not where you want to be. But in order to get where you want to be, you have to allow yourself to practice these steps first. It might be like 10 seconds is nothing. I can do a minute. Then go ahead and jump to that minute. But don't beat yourself up if you're doing something, you're getting it wrong, or it's too much, or you haven't developed the skill set to do it. Don't then beat yourself up saying it's useless and walk away because you want that goal now. No, there's the advantage of waiting for the long haul and being in it for the long haul, and allowing the greater distance between you and your goal is you're going to put less pressure on yourself, and the chances of you succeeding is going to be greater. And then as you develop the skills, you might find that you can do more and more and more, and then you're in the flow and the rhythm. And all that while you've enjoyed the moment, rather than I need this in 2 years. Okay, let's say 2 years is your goal. Break that down month by month. What backwards engineer it? What steps will it take? Oh man, well, it means that tomorrow I'm going to need to do something I've never done before, and I don't even know if I can do it. Okay, then push that goal back a year, or push it 2 years. This is what Jordan Peterson says. If you're going to do an action, or if you have a goal, break that goal down into the smallest action that you can conceivably do. Just to summarize this reflection with my own experience, I had wanted to be a counselor. I know that's something I wanted to do when I was at uni. I just found I was good at listening to people. I just felt I had the skill of listening to people. I enjoyed it, especially when people spoke about things that were quite personal, quite emotionally challenging. I enjoyed it. And then I imagined myself in an office. This was the vision I had, in an office with, at the time, patients, but it's actually clients. At the time, clients coming in. I was like, yeah, all right. And I remember when I qualified, I thought, I want to open my private practice. And I was so nervous. I was like, man, if I just get one client in private practice, I'll be happy. That's all I need. And I got one. I was like, oh, I'm not satisfied. I want 2, 3, 4. That's isn't the human nature. We want more and more and more. The point is, stop putting pressure on yourself. Enjoy life for the long haul. Be in it for the long run, and enjoy the moment, and allow yourself to fully experience the moment. Thanks for watching.